This is a review of the Heljan Class 02 280 tender locomotive, also known as the Tango, designed by Sir Nigel Gresley, I think built in about 1915. And I've heard such bad things about the model, I thought I would investigate. I paid £85 for it from Hattons at Liverpool in their sale, and I'm not going to spend hours unboxing it and all that, but I will show you what it looks like and what I think of it. I'll try and be as unbiased as possible. Okay, just a handful of detailing parts. Well, not really detailing parts in the sense of two couplings, two bits of plastic to add as glazing for the cab windows, and what looks like a little oil drum of some description that probably goes somewhere on the footplate. Don't know where yet. Maybe I'll get an idea in a little while. So first of all, what does it look like? Well, I'm afraid I'm filming it in a fairly dark part of my layout at the moment. I'll take it under brighter light in a minute. But on first appearances, only one thing really stands out, and that is the steel-coloured handrails, rather than the chemically blackened ones that we're used to. I've just noticed that the three-link or the screw-link coupling at the front was a bit off. I've just put that down. But apart from that, I have to say it looks rather good. The nicely blackened motion, yeah, mine's got to go around third radius curves, so there's a bit of a gap between loco and tender. That's not a problem. But on first looking at it, I'm just trying to see if I can see any obvious blemishes. I heard stories about people with fingerprints and glue marks and splodges of paint everywhere. I can't see any to start off with. No, it looks fine under this light, and actually under the viewing of most normal people on layouts, I think the appearance looks fine. The one thing I am a bit surprised about, though, is those stainless steel handrails. Normally, most modern ready-to-run locomotives come with chemically blackened handrails, and I wasn't around in the 1950s, and well, late 40s this one would be, to know what colour handrails were. On the very latest sort of museum locomotives that you might see at York or on any preserved railway, maybe the handrails are quite shiny. But in the most photographs I've seen from the 1940s, 50s, 60s, the handrails look pretty dull. So I think that the one thing about this model that stands out as being slightly off is the handrails. Now, I've literally just put it on the track. I haven't done anything to run it in or anything like that. So now we're just going to see how it moves. And literally, I haven't touched it. I am just going to turn on the power and see what happens. So here we go. Forwards. On a very low power. Let's take it back. There's a little bit of noise, less than I've had from many brand new locomotives, and bearing in mind I'm using a feedback controller, actually some of my locomotives make quite a lot of noise on a feedback controller, so there. Sorry, I've just got it back into focus, that's much better. First impressions then are pretty good. Let's just take it a bit further again and run it round. I'll give it a whole lap and see what we can make of it. Well, that's very quiet on that particularly noisy bit of track of mine where it's laid direct onto chipboard and ballasted. That's where most of my locomotives make a lot of noise. Here it is now coming round the other end of the layout, and it's going to go through the station. Again, beautifully smooth. Sorry about the flickering LEDs. They don't flicker in real life. It's the filming. So there's the engine coming to a stop, pretty smooth. I have just noticed a bit of a wobble, and that may be something that eases off with time, but there's a little bit of a rocking of the cab at the back. Not too bad, but it's more noticeable at a very slow speed. There's a little bit of a wobble. Not as bad as some I've had straight out of the box, but I'm going to keep an eye on that and see how that improves, if it does improve. So now I've coupled up a few wagons to the locomotive to see what it looks like running around the layout with a load behind it. So I've given it about, I don't know, 15 coal wagons. See how it manages with them. Remember, I haven't run the locomotive in yet, so I shouldn't really be doing this, but let's just see how good or bad it really is. One criticism that's been made of this model is that it doesn't have lots of extra detail to add. And I thought, well, that's a bit of an odd criticism. Yes, you don't have to add the brake rigging. Brilliant. It's already added, because I can tell you that's quite fiddly. You don't have to add the guard irons at the front, just in front of the pony wheels, and at the back behind the tender. Again, my B17 and D16, you had to add those, and they were pretty fiddly things to add, I have to say. You've got a nice smoke box dart at the front there. You've got the vacuum pipes already fitted. You've got the screw link couplings already fitted. You've got the cylinder drain cocks fitted. The actual valve gear is commendably fine. Yes, one thing that stands out on this view is the ends of the axles are rather shiny silver, but a little bit of gunmetal paint will get rid of that and will match the valve gear and coupling rods quite nicely. Yeah, the only other thing I'm going to do to it is to paint the shiny stainless steel handrails a black to match the rest of the loco. But it's funny that people should complain about not enough separately fitted details when in fact they've already been fitted for you. So there you have it. Not perfect running and not perfect appearance, but what would I rate it as? Well, I think I would put this model somewhere at about 7 or 8 out of 10 for running, and probably about 9 out of 10 for appearance. The one fault in the appearance is those handrails that are definitely rather like an 80s throwback to the old Hornby models that used to have nice shiny handrails and nice shiny valve gear, although they are finer than the Hornby ones. The handrails look as though they've been attached pretty well. They look all straight to my mind. And yeah, the performance, well, it's excellent at a slow crawl. It hasn't stalled. There was a slight wobble, and I'm going to see if that wobble continues or whether once it's run in it'll be okay. So not the disaster that some people have described it as. I suppose if I'd paid £150+ for it, I would have expected better than that. But at £85, the discounted price, is it worth you spending money on? Well, you know, at the current price, that's, I would say, good value. I'll keep you posted. I'll put another video up in a few weeks' time maybe to see how the performance is going after it's been run in. What you've seen today is brand new, fresh out of the box, and it hasn't run for more than 2 or 3 minutes in total in the making of this video. So very much brand new, and I would say for that it's pretty good runner. Not perfect, but pretty good. One thing I noticed just before I lubricated it to prepare it for a bit of running in, it's also got tender pickups fitted. So we're collecting from 6 tender wheels and 8 driving wheels. So you won't have any problem with your loco stalling on insel frog points, which is another good thing if you ask me. So there we go. I'm going to lubricate it now, and I'll let you know in a while if the running improves. It's pretty good, but if the slight rocking motion improves, that will be a good thing. If it gets worse, I'll let you know that as well.